So we're two huge Rush fans. We got tickets to see the band live next year as part of the 50-something tour. In the lead up, we're doing this series called Road to Rush, where we review every single Rush album, one per week. This week, we are talking about the band's 2002 studio album, Vapor Trails. It's a bit weird, this one. There was a 5-year gap between this and the last album. I mean, I don't know why. Why did they leave such a long break? What was going on in the band at this time?
There was a much needed time away.
Yeah.
Which, artistically developed them further. And kept them current,
What did you think of Vapor Trails?
I think it was very much of its time. It sounded like the early 2000s exactly.
Yeah.
You could tell they've been hanging around with many rich, successful friends who were famous at the time, which I've read in books.
This one was a bit too heavy for me. Why did it need to be so bloody heavy? Do you know what I mean?
Bloody heavy.
There was all these bits where it started out being this nice little song with some nice chords, and then all of a sudden Alex Lifeson just goes, and I was like, it didn't need to go there for me.
But those drums were produced like Stephen Wilson would have done. Do you know, it created that amount of space where it just seemed to be the drums are over here, all beep, beep, and perfect. And then there was a lot of grungy sort of noise over here. But it took a long time for me to come round to their Rushes. I think it wasn't wasn't until much later in the album when I thought, oh right, this is comfortable and familiar Rush. But they very much were doing what they needed to for the time. I can't disrespect that in any way. But they were too much of a, they weren't in it anymore. They were just sort of ticking boxes a bit, really. But we can do this as well, guys.
In some ways, this is the most important Rush album. Just from a personal sense that the band came back to... Well, the band coming back together after Neil Peart's tragic losses, and you think... It's one of those landmark albums, kind of like St. Anger with Metallica and all these other ones, where it was important that the band made the album for personal reasons, but the music wasn't that great.
I was thinking, as I was listening to it, I was imagining all the films I could imagine it being on the soundtrack for. And one of them was Holes.
Was it American Pie 2? Was the other one you could imagine in this album?
They just sort of had that vibe of like very Americana. It sounded very American anyway to me.
And it was too long. It was 67
an hour and a bit,
minutes. It was the only one where we kind of got to the last couple of tracks and I was like, it needs to finish now.
We're on the CDs now.
Yeah, exactly.
Put as much as we can on there.
All these kids pirating this on LimeWire back in 2002, back in the early days.
That was a bare chair back then.
Yeah. Imagine how many family computers were ruined because a 12-year-old wanted to listen to Ghost Rider.
I mean, libraries.
Yeah. I must admit that the first track that really got me going on the album was Ghost Rider. That was the first track where I felt like they've got something to say.
And that was a really nice song.
It was a nice ballad. It had some bells in there. It had a bit of heaviness.
Ghost Rider sort of turned me on a bit more to, I'm liking where we're going here. And obviously, again, as I've mentioned in the last couple of videos, read quite a lot about this time, so a lot of things, bloody hell, that's what he says in the book, and that sort of stuff. But Peaceable Kingdom was where I thought, we're getting into a jam here, I sort of getting a bit more comfortable instead of just straight for sort of things with a few drum fills in between. The drums really, they didn't lack anything, but he started with doing fills every 8 rather than every 4. It was just a lot more pretty much all the way through.
But again, that was the style at the time.
It certainly was. And they could do that. And there was like, look guys, we can do it as well. But they weren't trying to sell records, because all the other people needed to get famous at the time.
Well, that's it. They had no reason, really, to make a record at this point. They didn't have to. They weren't being forced to go into the studio, but they did. And they went out and they toured and they made a success of it.
Better than when ALP decided to do it. You're too fat. That was straight that one.
Rush have managed to stay thin, haven't they? It must be all of Alex Lifeson's weed. Why was it so bloody heavy? It didn't need to be that heavy.
That was so bloody long.
Yeah. What was the best track?
Well, first of all, Vapor Trail.
Yeah.
Nice again, holy sound, but it would be Stars Look Down or Secret Touch.
Yeah, okay.
And that's purely because of how much more comfortable it made me feel. Like out of the mire of the darkness, but still a bit rocky. Absolutely.
It's got to be Ghost Rider for me because it's a touchstone in the story of Rush and Neil Peart.
Especially read the book.
You
too.
It's a difficult one, this, because you kind of feel like you can't be too hard on it because of the circumstances in which it was produced. It feels cruel to be mean to it because of the time and what was going on and all those sort of things. What would you give it out of 10?
I mean, it's 6 or a 7.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10.
It wasn't a Rush album. There was three Rush tracks on it.
And it got them out on the road. That was the other thing as well.
Yeah,
it got them playing the old songs again.
It's why I can't be. I've not said anything bad. I've not been. It was, because.
Yeah.
And it's not because of personal circumstance, but I can see what they were doing and why they were doing it. Yeah. They were just trying to get new fans to get on board. Sort of a bit of a recruitment drive rather than a selling mission. Yeah. He had enough money. He has enough baseballs. He didn't need any more.
Vapor Trails ain't going to be coming out on the 50-something tour, is it? Do you know what I mean? It's one of those albums. It's.
Bloody hope not.
They probably looked at each other and we were like, "Shall we do something with Vapor Trails?" And they're probably just like, "Nah, let's not bother. We'll be fine." What did you think of Vapor Trails? Let us know in the comments below. We'll be back next week with a covers album feedback from 2004,
which I listened to by accident.